Have you ever wondered if animals go to heaven? I've had people ask me this quite a bit, actually, or is my pet going to go to heaven and this sort of thing. I think seriously looking at this, probably the better phrasing of that question is, will there be animals in heaven? Because I do think that we have some strong evidence to support that from the scriptures. When you look at, for example, Isaiah 11, 6 through 9, it depicts a time when Messiah comes, when Christ comes, that he's renewing the whole earth. He's making things new. And it talks about the lion will lay down with the lamb, that the child will play in the cobra's den. This basically is talking about the renewal of the earth, and that animals are a part of God's creation. If God is going to renew all things, animals are a part of that, and there specifically mentions animals in that place. I think you see that again in Romans 8, where God talks about the whole earth groans, suffering under the weight of sin, but it will be renewed, and longing for this day of renewal. Well, that doesn't just mean the physical planet Earth, but it also means all of God's creation. So I believe that there will be a renewal, and even the animals themselves will be renewed again in some miraculous and wonderful way. The fact that God cares about animals is seen in Genesis when God is creating them and calling them good, and the variety of animals that he created. But it's also seen in Jonah. In the book of Jonah, at the very end, Jonah wants God to bring down fire from heaven and destroy Nineveh. And Jonah says, don't you care about the innocent ones? Probably speaking about children there. But he said, and also the animals. God cares about animals. It's part of his creation. And so they bring glory to God. And so there's no reason why we should expect that heaven will not have animals based on these few verses. So the question, people often ask, but is my pet going to heaven? Is little Fido here, going to heaven? I don't know. I don't know about your pet. I know my pet is, but I'm not sure about sure about your pet. But or you might think, I don't know, the way he's acting, he may not make it. But seriously speaking, the Bible doesn't talk necessarily about that. Obviously, animals don't need redemption. Animals aren't aware of sin. Even though they're under the weight of it, they don't have a knowledge of it. And so it's not like animals have to be saved, right? But is God capable of taking your animal that you love and reproducing them in heaven? Absolutely, he's capable of that. What we do know is in Psalm 16:11, it says, in your presence is fullness of joy, and your right hand are pleasures forevermore. And so when you get to heaven, you're going to have fullness of joy. You're not going to be going up there, man, I'm really missing blank in heaven. Nobody's going to be feeling gypped in heaven. You're going to have the fullness and overflowing of joy, and that may very well include the pet that you love. So I know we can trust God in all these things.